this is a topless discussion about the economic stimulus card and the economic card stimulus and the economic card universal. The universal is the one that you get if you're homeless. If you don't have a registered address, they should just give you the universal card. It means you're taking care of universal needs like warmth and free food. You just keep getting the dollar dry meals because, okay, like we talked about before, I'm gonna have that vegetable jerky. I thought of a new one: asparagus and asparagus and pear juice. Is asparagus and pear juice? You gonna make that jerky? Oh, I'm topless and I'm a man. I'm allowed. I'm just beautiful. I'm just so smart. And Goth Kids is gonna be a genius brand because Goth Kids is conceptual art. They make food. They also make hobby games. They make these little voodoo dolls. It's supposed to make them popular as Funko Pop. There's like 258 in a set. When they deliver a package to the store, there's 100 of them. There's like 70 commons that are in every pack, 20 uncommons. No, there's like 65 commons that are in every pack, 25 uncommons and 10 rares. Based upon how many options are in that category to pick from to mix up the ship them out. And there's a lot of rare ones, like characters that are based on characters from our TV show, fantasy things, just important things, or like it could be a just a bigger deal to make a fantasy one. And the same concept for the hobby game. Okay, it's Satin Puppets, and I also have a hobby game that's you paint miniatures. It's arts and crafts that I want to sell them at craft store. I want them to have it has a display model for display rack for the model. It's display the craft is to make a display model of a scene, a fantasy art scene. We do a fantasy art scene, and there's also it's a grid that you can move them around on the grid. If you build it with our mesh, our mesh has a grid on it as the different terrain, and the terrain can vary. You build little hobby houses. We have plastic like tools to simulate what a house would be like, but you can get inside of it to use the space to move the characters around, like a bar and stuff like that. And it's a fantasy art collectible. It's a game. It's a hobby. You paint them. It's a game to play different games with. The books have different kind of games that you can play with them. The official games vary. I can think of 3 official games right now, and I'm going to explain them to you before the end of the video. And you paint them yourself, and you build terrain, or you can get mats. So the first idea is to have the rules book. You can play a story-based game, and you can play a board kind of Dungeons and Dragons game with structured rules and based upon your characters, or you can play a tactics game. They're going to have a rule book that explains everything, and they're also going to have, for example, like the first campaign things that come out, or just the templates. It's like templates and templates. There's 28 characters that you can pick from, and there's going to be 4 campaigns that you can play to get your characters up to level 8. And there's going to be the playing mats on the 4 books. There's 4 different playing mats on the book, and each playing mat has a front and a back to play the campaign of the world. And the classes, the 28 classes. If you playing the board game, you could just do any class that you want for your character. It's about buying the miniatures. There are rare miniatures, but you can put any class on any miniature that you want because it's a collectible hobby game, and you're just using the miniatures to represent your character. It's a collectible hobby game. D&D can make we're competing with D&D, but we're also going to help them. They can make plastic miniatures cheaper than we saw our miniatures. We saw our basic 1 character miniature for like $5.25, and we can sell like 3 packs for like $12. And they sell their plastic ones for like $3, and like 3 packs for like $8 or something. And we can also compete with. We sell these kits to buy scenes, the plastic and the metal mixed together, and they have blisters, and they're also boxes to build complicated things like Warhammer has boxes to build things, but it's a hobby game to build scenery and crafts. It is a craft because you can make it beautiful and put it on display in any room. Because they can get a sci-fi series in the summer one year, and you had 2 that year. The first year you did a sci-fi series because you're supposed to make a new series every year. You don't have to make all the products right away. You're just making a series. There's supposed to be 258 characters, 258 characters per year in the blisters. They still manufacture the old one. It's going to be case 1 and case, or it's going to be the set 1 and set 2, but the cases have 100. When you stock your shelves, you're not going to have any copies of that unless you get more than one and you have copies of the commons. You won't have any. You probably will have completely different rares if we do it right, or at least most. Oh, in the hobby games, the rulebooks has a story-based mode. Okay, the story-based mode I was thinking about earlier. It's supposed to explain to you how to play, how to play. Like there's 2. I remember now. There's 2 DMs, or everyone's a dungeon master, and it's supposed to explain to you. It's supposed to give you all kind of. It's not really explaining to you so much rules. There are rules about having more than one dungeon master, about how it interfaces with the game that has levels to the characters and they roll dice and stuff. This is not the game that rolls dice, although you can roll dice in this game. It just randomly games in the thing, or you can it's not supposed to be rolling dice. It's supposed to be have inspiration for how to build the world. You're supposed to be obsessed with your fantasy art world. And when you play D&D campaigns, they're not D&D campaigns. It's FairyCore campaigns. When you play them, it's like you leveling your characters up. You keep your characters. There's a dark mode to play the game. Like your characters die. You can't keep your characters. You're supposed to make your characters really important. Like you're emotionally attached to them. I know. In dark play, because that's supposed to be an important role. And then when the video game comes out, it's going to be a really important role in the video game. Because the video game is built around giving up before character dies. I'm just all over the place. Wait, go back. There's a tactics game. FairyCore Tactics is a book that explains the tactics, and it has cloth. The second campaign says 2 years after the game came out, all the games came out as 4 books or 5 books. I think 5 books. Make the tactics game right away. You need the tactics game. Make 5 books, and there's 28 classes. And then the round 2 campaigns have a list of ways to make a skill tree after what you know, after what the characters are. The skill trees where you can keep gaining abilities and keep leveling up. And there's all these variant ones that there's 4 of them. But instead of giving you playmass on the second bundle, we're giving you cardboard cutouts that you can make things, and the story revolves around using the story. Just interesting ways to use the cardboard little things. It's these pieces of cardboard that punch out things that you can make with just a little design on the thing, and they have the campaigns for year 2. I know. I think the tactics game, because you pit your team, it's like chess, and there's different strategies to play, combinations of characters. Like if you're stalling, if you're evading, or if you're coming at an attack, there's all these tactics way combos. Because if you had a bard and a fighter, the bard could do something where the other person is not allowed to do any offensive moves on their next turn. They're only allowed to do defensive moves. And if you had a bard and a fighter, that's a combo. It's like example, just a combo I can think of off the top of my head. And there's one of the mages does magic that's also affecting the game, and another character and probably have abilities that it's not necessarily like traditional magic, but it's like affecting the playing style. And a strong man affects the playing style too, with like manhandling and things like that, just to move you any 3 spaces from where you are. I know, but it's a complicated game. And then put this game, because you can knock you off a cliff with a strong man in the video game. In the video game, okay, this is supposed to be partnership with Magic the Gathering. I have a dream to make a Magic the Gathering, or not Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast, because they own D&D and Magic the Gathering. And you have a partner to make a set in Magic the Gathering that's about enchanting planeswalkers. enchanting apprentice creatures to make creature apprentice to make planeswalkers, and enchanting them to do additional abilities, and that's what the set's supposed to be based on. And there's these 5 new tricolor planeswalkers, and then Wizards of the Coast makes. I want Wizards of the Coast to be able to make miniatures like they're making the plastic ones. Okay, now they can make, if they make Magic the Gathering world based miniatures for the game, and they came up with their own books. They come up with their own books. They can come up with their own game to play with the miniatures. I have 3 games to play with the miniatures. Then come up with the miniatures as a partnership, and 3 books to play with the miniatures that go inside of with using the same game formats with your characters as well, and you can use certain things and how to make their game different, man. But they make miniatures, and they do rare. They probably would have rare ones, like I have rare ones too, because it's so easy to have an artist design something, and they make Magic the Gathering Arena. I have an idea to put a tactics game on the thing like Magic the Gathering Arena. But if you lose a character, it's like Final Fantasy Tactics. If you lose a character, you lose them for real. That's what's really inspired me, because I have just dreams of the perfect game after I play Magic the Gathering. If you play, not Magic the Gathering, after you play Final Fantasy Tactics, the perfect game is to play this game one-on-one as someone else, as a chess game at equal balance. You can pick what levels, like what level you have, and then pick an equally balanced team. And then you could, if you lose a character, you lose a character. You can give up. The game gives you the option to give up before you lose a character in the game, and if you give up after you lose the character, you lose the character most of the time. But they can save you in the beginning as you probably make something cheap. Or no, you lose the character, you lose the character. You have to give. The game explicitly tells you there's a give up feature right there to give up the game. Concede. It says you're gonna lose this character, concede, and you can concede. Yeah. And we can concede right when you're gonna give up, or you can concede if it's just not gonna go your way, and because someone else is playing a defensive game. And if you play a defensive game, you can stall, like yell in Final Fantasy Tactics, that makes you move your character up a turn, and they move up a turn, and the first one just on yourself. The second ability would be that when you get that ability on that game, you can just while you're stalling, just to build yourself up, build booby traps, make your characters have cheats in the game that take time to get inside of the game, that make you better. And there's other tactics too, because you're trying to make them not come at you or make it really hard. Do a defensive posture where if they can't think of it right now, they might as well just give up, because you're gonna have, if it's a strong player, they can have too powerful of a defense or too powerful of an offense, because you're only playing defensive to build up an offense. And the game, you lose a character. Okay, they're gonna have a coin op. The coin op has good shop tournaments like drafts, something like drafts, and you can get the coins. And you can get the coins or gems. Coins can go to gems, like the same thing if they want to do it that way. And then you can get the additional character. You get multiple copies of special characters. Like you can get the 3-win character. 3 wins you get the character. 4 wins you get a bigger character. 5 wins you get a bigger character, or whatever. You get to start getting the characters out for win, and it's just how strong he is when you get him. If he has extra abilities or up to an extra skill chain into him, that's like something that you can't access with your thing, that he can do it. And you get copies of him based on how you win it, and you can get like a sidekick character if you win the tournament. That's hard to get, and you get tokens, you get currency, and you get prizes like. That use, like you can probably just get these these little level up fucking coins, these level up tokens that level up. Or the tokens be something else, and you can get skins. You can probably buy skins for your characters. You can buy the special character for 5,000. You can buy 5 level 8 characters each month for 2,000 coins. 5 level 8 characters, and some people put their level 8 characters in death matches where they don't give up. They let their characters die until they take someone out, and they just buy them and keep using them in death matches. That's like the mono red of this game, is to buy cheap characters, use them in death matches at 40 experience the 40 whatever level, because you have 5 characters and they're all at level 8. That's how you start them as normal characters. They will be normal characters when they will be at level 8. And that's just like, some ideas for just this one game. Damn, I talked a lot.